to go ahead and draft that new request for qualifications. Okay, do we have to take a vote on that? Oh, we do, okay. So I'll entertain the motion for, to draft a request for qualifications.
Second.
Well, we need a first. Who first?
First.
Vice Mayor, thank you. We have a first, we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Lunkhausen. Did I
Thank
forget something? Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Staff, thank you. We will now call to order the regular meeting of the City Council for today, Monday, the 22nd of June. You can watch, for the public, you can watch the live telecast on YouTube and also dalycity.org/agendas or Comcast Channel 27. There are three ways to submit public comments. One is submit written comments by meeting day. Two, submit written comments during the meeting. And three, attend the meeting in person. To submit written comments by meeting day, you email the city clerk at dalycity.org and include public comment. Those comments received by 4 p.m. will be sent to the City Council. Please note that any email comments after 4 p.m. on the meeting date are not guaranteed to be received by the City Council prior to the meeting. Comments are not read out loud into the record. Two, during the meeting, you may visit dalycity.org/agendas to submit comments using the public forum to address the City Council on a specific item, or during public comment period, and such comments are delivered to the City Council and the city staff during the meeting and may be read into the meeting at the time they are received. To speak at the meeting in person, please submit a speaker card located at the rear of the chamber and submit to any staff member as soon as possible during the meeting. If we can all kindly please stand for the pledge to the flag, those folks who are able to.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Prior to roll call, I'd like to read a land acknowledgement. The City of Daly City acknowledges that we are on the ancestral lands of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. We recognize their enduring connection to this region. We honor their history, their culture, and contributions. As the indigenous protectors of this land, we affirm their sovereign rights as the original inhabitants of this land and pay respects to the ancestors, the elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Present.
Dr. Rod,
Present.
Ms. Perano,
Present.
Ms. Manalo,
Present.
Mr. Sylvester.
Glenn Sylvester present. Thank you very much. We have a couple of presentations tonight. Presentation number one is Westlake Park Proposed Improvements, Public-Private Partnership Opportunity. And Mr. Tim Nevin, I guess you're going to start us off. We also have Tim Musel, CCM, CCE, COO of the Olympic Club, and Nick Lusson, Athletic Director of the Olympic Club. And Mr. Nevin, you have the floor. Welcome, welcome all. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. Tonight's presentation is regarding proposed improvements to Westlake Park and an opportunity for a public-private partnership between the City of Daly City and the Olympic Club. I first met with the Olympic Club's athletic director, Nick Lusson, back in January of 2025. Since then, the city and the Olympic Club have had dozens of meetings discussing the proposed improvements to Westlake Park that will be presented to you shortly. Multiple city departments have been included in the meetings with the Olympic Club, including the Department of Public Works and the Department of Recreation Services. Tonight's presentation is directly linked with another item on the agenda this evening, and that is item number 9 on the consent agenda, which approves a memorandum of understanding between the city and the Olympic Club related to the proposed improvements that will be presented. Council previously approved an exclusive negotiating agreement, or ENA, last year, enabling the discussions both parties have been having to date. The next step in this process would be to come back to the City Council at a future meeting with a fully negotiated and detailed licensing agreement. I would now like to introduce members of the Olympic Club who are here with us this evening. First, as mentioned, Tim Musil, the General Manager and Chief Operating Officer of the Olympic Club. On your right. On your left, Eric Starr, a former member of the Olympic Club Board of Directors and current field committee member. And now I'll hand off the presentation and introduce you to the Athletic Director of the Olympic Club, Nick Lewson.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Vice Mayor, council members. It's very exciting to be here and get to present to you about this topic. It's been, in some ways, a year and a half in the works and over 100 years for us in the works on this. So we will talk about our vision for Westlake Park. This is what we're going to go over this evening. Again, thank you for the introductions. A little bit about the Olympic Club. So we are one of the country's oldest athletic clubs, dating back to 1860. We've become more famous these days for golf, but actually our history is as an athletic club. We run 19 different sports, 5 of those for youth as well. The club has 2 campuses, 2 locations, our downtown city clubhouse just off of Union Square, and then our lakeside golf course, top left over there in the picture. The club's mission is to promote the physical culture, social interaction, and amateur athletics in a spirit of close harmony among its membership. We've been part of Daly City since 1918 when we opened up the Lakeside Golf Course, and we're really excited to, embrace that relationship more and, invest deeper into the community of Daly City. A little bit about our history around the athletic field. So, as I mentioned, we've actually been seeking a field as a home for our field sports for over 100 years. The editorial on the left is actually from 1918, where we talked about one of the original purposes of Lakeside being for our field sports. I've since tried to bring that back up, hasn't gone over too well, so we've gone on to look for other opportunities. The club has then, about 2 years ago, we restarted an effort to start looking for fields to partner with and to develop in San Francisco, around San Francisco, and we basically looked anywhere and everywhere we possibly could. These are the sports that we are focused on serving and finding a field to work with. So women's field hockey, men's and women's lacrosse, men's and women's pickleball, men's rugby, men's and women's soccer, softball, and men's and women's tennis. And on this, currently our usage is a variety of rentals, relationships, agreements, things like that. So again, our hope is to find a home to gather together all those different sports. So why did we end up circling Westlake Park? So first and foremost, I really have to say thank you to your staff. They've been absolutely amazing to work with. Tom Piccolotti and Tim Nevin to kick things off. We've had great meetings with Denise Brown and her staff with the Recreation Department. We've met with Mr. Chu and the Public Works, with Rose Zimmerman. And at every step along the way, as we've gone through these conversations, there's been a real commitment to finding the solutions, working in earnest with us to find ideas and really address the needs of both communities, the Olympic Club and Daly City. And we found them just phenomenal to work with from day one. Some of the key considerations, part of it is this is an across-the-street neighbor for us. So the Westlake Park and the Lakeside Golf Course are literally across the street from one another with our back entrance. So it feels to our membership like kind of an extension of ourselves into Daly City versus a completely separate third location. The size is terrific. It opens up a lot of opportunities. There's pre-existing lights, which, as we all know, are a very hard thing to add after the fact in residential areas. There's a great parking footprint that seems like would work well. For us, again, our mission is about the combination of athletics and social. So when we're looking for fields, we wanted to find something that was more than just a field for people to show up, play, and leave. We wanted a space that would also socially activate for our membership and our guests. And a real key consideration for us was community displacement. What we mean by that was we wanted to find a space where we weren't going to be shoving out someone else's program by investing into this space. That was very critical for us. We didn't want to be the 800-pound gorilla of sports that comes in and takes a field away from, a smaller local community group. So in looking at Westlake, in working with the recreation department, I think that we found a good balance point where our investment into the facility, yes, we take a slice of the pie in our usage, but we're also making that pie much larger. So there's overall more access and more opportunity for everyone. So we're going to get into the proposed improvements. And I'll say at this point, these are drafts of what our improvements look like. We're working with Verde Design, who I believe has also been working with the city around Marchbank. They've done a phenomenal job of, creating our first version, our first vision of what we'd like to do with the park. We're looking forward to the next chapter of this process, which is engaging with the Daly City community, the neighborhood around this, to refine this design, really get that feedback and that understanding of the families in the community that are already using this space, to tweak things and find that right balance point that'll serve all needs well. On the field front, we're looking to change to artificial turf. Obviously, this opens up significantly more usage hours than the grass fields currently do. You don't have to shut down for weather or grow periods. Looking to line the field for multiple sports. That always gets a little bit tricky with this many sports, but there's solutions to figure out in the middle. We're going to add new scoreboards, new lighting, new fencing, and some additional seating for spectators. On the court side of things, we're looking to resurface the tennis courts. Two of those tennis courts, our vision is to make those dual use, tennis and pickleball. There's already a significant amount of pickleball happening on those same courts. We're just looking to then upgrade the quality of those. And then increase the footprint of the court play into what is currently parking lot space by adding several pickleball courts in that space. We're looking now to kind of solve for the social piece. We know that one of the main drivers of pickleball is not just playing the game, but that social interaction off the court. And so figuring out kind of in a design way how we can provide some social space, but also minimize our impact on the parking. Some additional pieces that we're currently looking at, one of them is a clubhouse. This is, right now, our thinking is a modular type building, so a semi-permanent but modular structure that provides some locker rooms, some social space, restroom storage, and perhaps a small office space. We've been talking as well with your staff around improving some of the walkways around the park. So, just kind of improving the walking score, the safety elements of that, the lighting elements of that. One of our concerns is the dog side of things. So in going to the park, there's a somewhat regular use of dog owners onto the field. Obviously, when you switch to turf, that's not ideal. And so finding some solutions, where can we redirect dog owners instead of just saying no? Maybe we work with some of the space to develop some dog run. So it's just slide over here versus the straight no. And then there's some ideas at the beginning, and I'll kind of go backwards for a second. If you look to the far right, and you can see it here a little better, some mitigation efforts along the treatment plant. So just some beautification. Right now our thinking is perhaps planting of trees along that border. There's some other ideas we're kicking around perhaps murals or things like that, but just to kind of beautify that side of the park space. So terms of the agreement, this is the direction we're currently working on. The capital costs would be carried by the Olympic Club. We would then have dual approvals in all of the design aspects. So everything, all the significant design pieces, both ourselves and Daly City would need to be in agreement on. On the operations and maintenance, we'd be responsible for the capital upkeep and maintenance of the field. This includes things like an artificial turf field has between an 8 to 10 year lifespan. We would be the ones replacing that field when it reaches its lifespan. The maintenance piece of it, right now, we've agreed to come to an agreement. So there's still some work to be done between, your public works department, our maintenance department, and just kind of figuring out exactly what the right balance point and what's going to be realistic there. Our guardrail there is that we don't want this to have the outcome of having any additional cost to Daly City. That's the objective that we're all aiming for in that agreement. Right now, the length of the term is 15 years with 3 5-year extensions. And then there's an annual $50,000 a year payment to Daly City for the rental fees. On the usage side, the Olympic Club would use up to 28 hours per week. That's broken down, as you can see, Tuesdays and Thursdays in a longer period of time, Wednesdays more in the PM, and then splitting the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. We do have part of the clause of kind of a give back clause. And so it would take us several years for us to build up our programming to use this amount of hours. I liken it to moving a plant to a larger pot. So in that period of time, and once we are fully built out, giving back unnecessary, the hours that we don't need, giving those back to Daly City to make sure that, the field's not sitting empty. We've got rights up to 5 summer camps per year. The clubhouse and the new pickleball courts, not the dual use, would be exclusive use to the club. And then we also have built-in protections for legacy Daly City events. So there's several events over the course of the year. We make sure that with our scheduling process, those events receive priority and don't get bumped. And that scheduling process is a quarterly collaborative process. We sit down with the Park and Rec department and we go over the calendar. We're planning ahead for all the time slots. Goals and benefits. Obviously our first goal is to have a really robust community engagement process. We want to listen. We want to be at the table with the community members, with the people that are going to be using the park. We see that the outcome here should be more annual usage hours for Daly City community and programs by moving it to a turf field, optimizing the lights, just improving the quality of it. Potential increased revenue with increased rentals. As you have a nicer facility, that will come in higher demand. And our success metrics are really, one, the utilization and access. We want to make sure that people are able to get on this field and to use it well. Increase safety of the field. So, just higher, better conditions. Part of our hope is that in 15 years' time, when it comes time to renew, that it's the easiest renewal ever because everyone is so happy with how the deal has worked. From a community side to a staff side, it's our goal to really exceed expectations on all fronts there. And then from our perspective as the Olympic Club, we want a home for our field sports, a place that, they can really feel a sense of belonging. And this is a regular place where they come together. Our next steps, as mentioned, a community engagement, so some open and some very targeted to some of the user groups. A targeted example would be some of the YSOs, the youth sport organizations in Daly City, and talking to them. The senior center, obviously, being right there, talking to them, and just having those kind of listening groups, focus groups with them. Then working on the licensing agreement, which would be the more legal document that we come forward with the city council. And final approvals between our board of directors and you as a council. That ends our presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Lesson.
Thank you.
For your presentation, Mr. Nevin and the rest of the staff from the Olympic Club, I just want to make one comment. I'm glad I got Mr. Musil's name correct in pronunciation. Thank you. All right. So I'd like to open it up to the members of City Council for any questions that you may have. I believe Councilmember Di Giovanni, you also wanted to pull item number 9, which they said was similar, and that's correct. You were correct. I was wrong. So I guess now, perhaps if you want to ask some questions, I'll start off with you.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for being here. I just have a few questions. So I saw the hours that you're open, and obviously in our diverse community that I understand that when I saw the all-day Saturday, and I'm sure that's probably the biggest day for you, but it's also the time when families in our community have off to go play with their kids in fields or wherever they do, or open spaces or what have you. So I don't know if there's any amenable way, but the all-day Saturday is kind of like a sticking point for me, only because of the children in the area and the walking and being able to think about Saturdays, especially just not when I grew up, when anybody else is growing up, that go out with your dad, your mom, your uncles, and you go in the fields and you play. And maybe we also have maybe in developing in other baseball teams or other sports that the kids can get involved, and our youth, because this is all we have left, and our youth really need a place to be involved, to be outside for activities, and especially sports. So I support all the sports, even though I did women's softball, but that's okay. But not okay, but maybe that'll be down the road,
I'm
right?
right there with you. Yeah.
And so I was wondering about the all-day Saturdays. I guess that's set in stone, that it would have to be used for that, only for the Olympic Club.
Yeah, I would say nothing at this point is set in stone. These are all, again, we're at the point of an MOU. What sets it in stone would be the licensing agreement that we work on over the next month and a half. I would anticipate that some elements of the MOU evolve based on feedback and our discussions between ourselves and your staff. I want to be careful with, setting, expectations and, not making any level of false promises. Obviously from the club's perspective, it's a significant capital investment. With that comes, the ability to, have a stable space that we're able to use and program. And the way to look at the all-day usage is, be the same as anybody else getting a permit for the field and using the field. Generally, that doesn't preclude people from kind of being around a park and engaging with a park when there's organized play happening on the field, whether it's a softball game, baseball game happening in one section, or a soccer game or rugby game happening on that part of the field. One of the nice things about this park is that anytime the activity is happening, sports are happening, is that there's still additional space on the field. So, my career has been as a soccer coach, and so, I'm kind of comfortable in how those dynamics tend to work. And at the end of the day, it's a relationship between us and the city and the community that's important to us. We want to be welcomed, and so I think our footing on using the field with the community members needs to stay on a really positive front.
Yeah, so has there been any outreach for that neighborhoods around that area?
Not yet. That's the next step that we're looking to do over this coming month.
But we would have to do the MOU first before you did outreach to see really what does the community really think about everything, right?
Correct.
And that's the thing. We don't really know how they feel about it, or they don't know about it. And then all of a sudden they're out walking and then they see what's going on and no one told us, that type of thing. Because then that's what happens. Then they contact council or want to know, some of the families, like what is going on. We can't use the field, and because it's always been a space where people go walk and everything, of that little trail around there as well. But you're going to keep that walking trail that goes around?
Yeah, we're actually looking to look at what improvements we could create to that walking trail. Just make it safer, upgrade it, add more lighting, things like that. So that was one of the points of discussion with Public Works.
Yeah. Okay, and then my other question is, let me see, the lighting. So when the lighting, I guess, obviously, that's back to the neighborhoods, which I'm sure that you wouldn't do anything intrusive. I mean, because the reputation of the Olympic Club, I know, is very high standard. So I do respect and understand that, because right there at the back door is all, again, you see how our neighborhoods are. You're very familiar with, obviously, our area. So, because we're kind of connected. We don't know how the division came between San Francisco back in the day and Daly City, but anyway, we're still connected. And so that's, to make sure that that the community has an input. So that's my only concern, is that the community doesn't have any input on this, and that the scheduling and while I respect the other project, it's just taken away and using what is a public space for the public who don't really have any monies per se to go in our diverse community to have a place to go for the youth and the kids. So, and then with the OC Olympic Club, is it a club thing, clubhouse? Where would that, I'm sorry, I saw that, but where
Yeah.
was that would be located?
Oh, yeah,
And is it for public use or only Olympic?
That would just be Olympic Club use. So this is, you can see the gym is just below it on this graphic. This is the current thinking of where that could get located. But that's still an area of discussion with the architects. That part of the plan is not too deeply developed yet. So we're kind of doing the feasibility study side of this.
Yeah. Because, I say this respectfully because,
Yes, of course.
when people see things like that, they go, oh, but we can't use it.
Yes.
We thought this was a public park. And then when the parking is going to be taken away, I'm sure it's not much parking, but when we have the prom events or whatever, it's pretty well overfilled with parking when we have those bigger events as well. So taking away parking, anything like that, that word parking, you guys, everybody knows that word. So, how the community feels. So
Yeah.
again, that's my thing, to approve an MOU, and then we haven't even asked the community what is their input in this and the youth in our area. So, but anyway, so thank you for that. I don't think I have anything at this time, Mayor. I think that was about it for now, and I appreciate your time, and thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. I'll turn it over to the Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you again for being here. If I recall, there's a slide where it kind of shows first you're going to check with the community, then there's an agreement that, do you remember that slide? There.
Yes.
So the first thing you mentioned in your presentation is that there will be community engagement. So
Yes.
that's where you're starting there first. So
Yes,
that's a little
that's-
That's
clarification.
after the MOU.
No, the licensing agreement is the MOU. The first thing it says there that I'm looking at is okay.
I'm not the legal expert on our side. I'm going to,
I'm just trying to clarify,
Yeah.
because I heard questions and then I remember
Right.
seeing this.
We have
If you'd
to
like to
approve the
clarify.
Yeah, just in terms of steps. So the first step was in 2025, the ENA, the exclusive negotiating agreement, where we could enter into discussions with the Olympic Club
Discussions.
regarding
Okay.
this potential public-private partnership that we're discussing this evening. The second step is this evening. We have a general framework for an agreement, which would be a memorandum of understanding. And then to finalize that, of course, we're going to come for council approval on a full licensing agreement that would lay everything out in terms of what that looks like. And that construction or anything else couldn't even happen until council would approve that licensing agreement. So nothing would happen between now and the licensing agreement other than gathering community input, as Nick mentioned, and then finalizing terms that we're still negotiating, as was discussed. So that's what we're looking at. If I could maybe comment on a couple of the other points that were brought up earlier. This slide talking about the all-day Saturday, understand the concern. Some part of the discussion was related to weekend usage. And so what does that look like? Does it look like a half-day Saturday for the Olympic Club and a half-day Sunday, or city activities on one or the other? It made more sense to split the days. But when they have quarterly collaborative scheduling meetings between the Olympic Club and Recreation, the Olympic Club will actually know what their plans are for specific Saturdays, how much of that day is actually going to be needed for a certain event on their end. And then if they don't have half a day of activities planned, that can go into recreations programming. That can go to a field rental. That can go to something else. So there definitely is a balance. We want a balance in the agreement. We also wouldn't even bring this to the council if it wasn't additive for the city, for residents, for people to use the field in terms of how much is the field's being used today versus how much the field can be used in an improved state. So it's definitely additive, or else it wouldn't be something that we would have been interested from the beginning. But those are just some comments.
So again,
yeah.
so the question there lies is, and I understand where Councilmember DiGiovanni's concerned in that, I understand you have to talk about it because if there's no interest, there's no need to talk to the community.
Yeah.
So before any agreement is completed,
Yeah.
you would take the time to meet with the community.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to, right, what I
Yeah.
hear. And then with all that taken care of, the input of the community, the input of the neighborhood, then, and then also with recreation and what is happening, if I recall, there was something there that said that it would be grandfathered in. So if we have a prom, or we have, and I did notice it's Tuesday, you had Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays, Wednesdays. So we have for sure Mondays and Fridays. And Fridays are the big day, right? And some Saturdays. And those Saturday events would already be worked out with the Olympic Club. So we would still have those events, right? And then Sunday, totally open for family and people to have events and such. Is that right? Is that what I'm
Yeah.
understanding?
And Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Wednesdays, the earlier hours, the
Right.
daytime hours.
Right.
Yeah.
So they would have the daytime
Right.
hours.
The city
for-
would.
And that would include summertime. So kids could use, I've seen.
Right, but there could be, would be camps as well. We have camps, the city has camps, but also the Olympic Club would have camps as well in the summer. We'd look at what the times are for those.
And then work it out, because we have ongoing, like this year we have camp, right? Okay. And that would be something, since it's already grandfathered in, we would already still have, okay, got it. So we,
And
not losing that.
completely agree. Lots of discussions have taken place over parking. Looking at adding courts would take away some parking spaces. We're also looking at other areas like the greenhouse, for example, and potentially not needing that, and having some items that are stored there, stored off-site or in a different location, which would free up more parking in that sense. So we're looking at a lot of different things to try to not lose so many spaces, because we understand, especially for big events, big rentals, all the spaces are basically needed. So-
coordination between the departments. And eventually, we're talking about, in the future, remodeling the Dolger Center.
We are definitely talking about that, early phase, talking about that, a Westlake Park master plan. Eventually, it would be ideal to replace the gym, rebuild the gym, rebuild recreation admin, including the Dolger Senior Center, that entire building that used to be an old school, rebuilding that potentially and most likely multiple stories.
Okay, so then this would be working in collaboration. I mean, we would work together.
This will take a while to do all those types of improvements, and this would be sort of a quicker improvement on the field itself. But yes, those are discussions that we're having internally as a city in terms of what other improvements can we have in that space.
Okay. Okay, thank you, and thanks for the clarification. I just wanted to make sure, and that the point well taken, that the community and the neighborhood they do need to give their input. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm Eric Starr. I was formerly board director, and I want to help with Councilmember DiGiovanni's concern. Yes, legally, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, Madam City Attorney, but this is simply a non-binding memorandum of understanding. So we get the terms and conditions out to the community. There's nothing tonight that will bind you guys. You guys have the final say when we get to that final licensing agreement, which will be negotiated between all of us. This is just so we can go back to the community. Does that help? Yeah. Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember Manalo, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for the presentation this evening. I think there was some clarity around the timeline. And what I'm hearing this evening is that this is a basic framework that you all have provided, given the fact that staff has worked with you back and forth. That this is nothing finalized, but obviously this is the vision. But as you go into community, the neighbors around and those, and I'm sure we'll be able to share with you ways to have great community engagement, whether through surveys or the events or whatnot, to really reach the community, right? Because when you think about having a project like this, I mean, public-private partnerships, I think they work well together when there is both a listening and receiving portion of it, right? And the intentionality here, I see it. I see it's on the board, it's there. So that's really great. I think that as you go out and listen to the residents, I think some of those pieces you see here, I hopefully is now embedded, right? That as we hear feedback, you see kind of what the needs are. I'm glad that you're working with recreation, our staff here. To me, I think this is very exciting to see. Obviously, I grew up in Daly City, and you know that field definitely needs some love in that respect. But also, there are concerns around making sure, like this summer, we have junior giants. And that's Tuesday, Thursdays
Yeah.
in the evenings. And so it's also making sure, would that be considered like a legacy
Yes.
program and that, and things like that. But to me, one thing that stuck out in your presentation is that you said you want to ensure that there's no additional cost to the city of Daly City. And to me, that's showing that you're being a mindful partner and saying, hey, we want to cover the costs in a way that we are able to be a partner. I think this is the initial stages. I hope that when you all return back, we hear a robust feedback loop around what can be done. I believe in private-public partnerships. I mean, in my previous work, that's what I did, and I saw that there's ways to work together. And this evening, I see that, you're creating a framework and we're hearing from you, look, this is not the final. Obviously, it's as a body we decide, but I think I'm excited to hear what can be done. I think one of the pieces that come to mind when I see such, an enhancement to the area is how do we get our younger people involved in sports that they may have never, ever known about, right? And is there ways you all can support so that as they see these sports, maybe they're walking around, they're at the playground, there's some sort of programming that, leads a pipeline, right? Or whatnot. And I don't know if you all do that. Please do if come up if you do.
I would love to speak to that point, actually. So I would say on a number of fronts, that's very important to us. One piece is the Olympic Club has a foundation that for several decades now has supported through providing grants any number of youth sport organizations in the 9 counties, including several programs here in Daly City. For me personally, my former work before the Olympic Club was very much about access into youth sport and lowering those those challenges to access and the affordability piece of things. So we definitely want to see us having an impact on the youth sport ecosystem of Daly City. We've been kind of knocking around ideas with your recreation department about can we offer access to camps or do clinics. We've got these amazing athletes that play for the club, including Olympic athletes. And, can we do some Daly City targeted programming to inspire kids and the next generation to try a sport they haven't done before? We don't want to be an organization that just lives behind our walls. We want to be out into the community. We are a part of Daly City. We've been a part of Daly City for a long time. We're hoping to be more of a part of Daly City through these sports endeavors. So.
Thank you. Thank you so
absolutely.
much. I think you've answered some of the thoughts that come to mind around accessibility and I would say expanding the mindset of our young people. And I think that's something that you're touching upon, that there's an avenue in that respect. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much. I know it's initial stages. I think that it's obviously a burgeoning back and forth and now feedback with community. And so I see this as the beginning. And I know when it was brought to us just in the very initial stages. I see there's progress now. Obviously, there's work back and forth. And hopefully, as you all return in your timeline, we get to look at what feedback you received. So thank you. I think this is very exciting. I think that when you look at access and enhancing what we already have, it's through partnerships. And obviously, I'm going to guess, and I'm not going to say this, but I'm going to guess you're going to have people talk about your pickleball. So I don't know in ways, you can figure out that portion of it. But my guess is people will be wanting to know accessibility, or if you're creating new courts, then is there ways to create more public-facing courts? I don't know if you've heard, but we have a very robust pickleball community in Daly City. That's just my guess. The community will speak, but yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, Dr. Rod.
I think along the same sentiment, this is a very exciting potential journey that we can be possibly involved in. I also share this similar concerns as well in terms of community input. I guess my question would be like, if there are some preliminary discussions, or even like about having a master plan of that Westlake Park area, how would I see potential challenges or even tensions in terms of having a 100% potential of creating a master plan when we already, if we do commit to changing the field and renovation, how are we going to be flexible enough to create a imaginative master plan of that area if we've already committed to this long-term agreement?
I believe part of that final agreement, this is something we've discussed already with your staff. We don't want this agreement to hamstring any of those potential efforts. So there being safeties kind of built into that licensing agreement, where if the master planning of the broader site starts to move forward, this shouldn't be a factor. In really what we would hope is that master planning, we actually can engage with Daly City about, and how can we how can we play a role in that to make that come to fruition even earlier.
Right.
So,
Okay. Another question would be like, how would major championships that come to the Olympic Club, how would that affect the programming in that area?
are you talking about the major the golf events?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the past, we have done parking on the field. In moving it to an artificial turf field, that wouldn't be possible any longer. You can't park cars on artificial turf. Outside of that, I can't really speak for the PGAs. Actually, they come in and they're the operators. We just hand over our property and they operate in that way. I think they're already in discussions with the city around things. So that's they keep me out of golf. So. You could probably answer that side a little bit better.
And then since I already have you here, I know there's been some concerns. I have a child that is part of the Westlake School of Performing Arts, and I do have friends and nieces and nephews that also participate in the Filipino martial arts. There have been issues about golf balls coming into the area, potentially hitting people in that little quad area. Is there any movement to putting protective nets or some sort of ways of
I can speak a bit
Okay.
to that. We've worked with the city on that. Mr. Piccolotti and I have spoken several times on that. We understand where balls might be coming from. I know Mr. Piccolotti has come up with different solutions.
Okay.
The club has expressed that we'll help pay for that, but really we're leaning on the city, and I think he's doing a great job in trying to find the right solution. So it's an area, it's a concern. We're all in favor of figuring out the solution.
All right. I just don't want to. I want to be preventative before something happens. So that's the.
Yeah. No, certainly we do too. Nobody wants anybody to get hurt.
Right.
And we've looked at it closely, and I think we understand kind of where the real risks are. Any time that you have children, golf balls, there's going to be concerns. But I think that we're all trying to take a reasonable approach with it.
Thank you. That's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Rod. Let me add into the mix here. I was feverishly taking some notes, so they say when you speak, you should start with the good points first. And I like to start with the good points first. First of all, as Councilmember Manalo made mention, I think a public-private partnership is a very good thing for our city. And I like to commend staff, as you made mention, to include Public Works, Recreation, our city attorney, and all the folks you have worked with. What I'm understanding now that this isn't a concept, basically information only. So, with that being said, some of the good points that I got out of this is the capital upkeep, the maintenance, the use of 20 to 28 hours a week. However, this is what I'm going to need because before, when it comes to that point, basically it's not basically a set of marching orders, but basically something that if it comes before council again, I'm going to be asking these questions. A couple of my council members have already made mention about it, but I'm going to try to narrow it down a little bit. Okay? First of all, Dr. Rod made mention about events that may transpire at the Olympic Club at its current location, such as golf. Well, if there are such events, how will this affect this project, or do we have use of, say, that parking lot that we have to basically provide a mechanism for the players to participate? That's one thing that I'm going to be looking for later on. Department of Recreation and Parks. I would like to know every sort of program that we have right now
Yeah.
to include events, to include rental of the Pacelli Gym, to include any other rentals, because you folks made mention that you don't want to cause any sort of community displacement. But I'm going to be looking for those as we move forward down the line. For the Department of Public Works, I'm going to be looking at infrastructure and the piping for additional water usage or, say, underground for electricity. Are we going to consider all those things? These are just points I'm bringing up. In reviewing all the slides that I saw no additional restrooms. Where would they be located? If they would be located, because if folks are coming to play, they're going to want to use a restroom. What I also didn't see, I know that this is only a concept, is what's the estimated cost? Basically, I'm looking for cost recovery. We have cost recovery in the area of capital upkeep and maintenance, but and I think it's going to help the city tremendously, but I want to know what the Olympic Club, and give me an estimate cost as to what this is going to cost. Now, Dr. Rod alluded to this, and I'll gladly provide this reminder. Since I've been on council, I have thoughts for the area down there, especially in the senior center, that building. I would like to see that go up to 2 or 3 stories to include offices. Is that still in the master plan? I would also like to see an auditorium or some sort of theater built on that property for that we can have events, such as Westlake School of Performing Arts to have their events. But I haven't heard anything yet, and I don't know about this master plan. So these are some of the items that I'm going to question later on as we move down the road. But all in all, I think it's a great start. Again, community, as Councilmember Di Giovanni said, okay, I'm going to want to know who in the community and what were the negative things that they brought up, because sometimes that's how we learn, is by some of the things that we don't see because we may not live in that particular area. Again, to Dr. Rod about the golf balls, I had no idea that golf balls were coming up near WSPA. So I'd like to commend all of you. I'd like to commend the 4Vision in the private-public partnership. And, I don't want to be a cog in the wheel, but I don't there's a saying I always use. I do know, I don't know all the secrets to success, but I do know the secret to failure, and that's trying to please everyone. So I think we have to come to a happy medium, some give and take, and I'm ready to do so. But provide all the information, and I think we can do something good here. So the concept is great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead. Because I'm gonna give my colleagues another go around because I can tell they want to speak. So,
Absolutely.
you want to speak first? Maybe.
Sure, if I may, Mr. Mayor. I just do want to speak to those points. I do want to clarify, we want to avoid as much community impact and displacement as possible. We already know there will be some. One of those issues, and I want to be very transparent with that, the Junior Giants program that got mentioned, that's one of the things that Denise and her staff has identified. We've had some pretty lengthy discussions around how do we mitigate for that program. So I want to be very open that, some impact on some things is inevitable, and then it becomes the partnership piece of it. We want that partnership to be one where we're not having to pull out the legal agreement. We have a good working relationship where we, are able to work together and, schedule the field in a way that best benefits both communities. And after working with, Denise and Edgardo, we feel very comfortable with that. We feel that we'll be able to work well together in the years to come. And we hope for an agreement that outlives all of us, and that, my future replacement looks back on this, and hers as well, that, this was a good setup.
Great. All right. Well, I'm going to open it up again. I have to remind council, just provide, and we're not here to get in the debate, but basically provide your concerns. And it's basically, we're asking, can we also look into this? And vice versa for the folks from the Olympic Club. Don't feel the need to provide an answer to everything. Let's just get this information, and then we can move forward and say, well, this was also asked, and how can we address this, okay? Also, we'll be here all night because my council members, they have some very important concerns. So I'll start off with Council Member DiGiovanni.
I want to thank the mayor for bringing up the Pacelli Gym, like the rentals, because there's no way to know who's gonna have a birthday party there, who's gonna have a baby shower there, what Saturday, what Sunday, or when they would like to have it. So that place is a rental ongoing for income for us. So we want to make sure, I appreciate the mayor bringing that up. And also even the Dolger Center is rented out several times as well. So those are the ones we don't know. We know our city programming, we know all the classes, but we don't know when they're going to have the anniversary celebrations there, and make sure that that's always going to be available for the public to rent, or the other, because of the location and the parking. From what I hear from the community, that's one of the reasons they like renting the facilities there. So like the mayor was alluded to, and my council members, that just keep it in mind, and as we move through the process, just like before, it's the beginning, like anything else with a partnership, and we move forward together and make it a better world, a better place, a more vibrant, and keep the young people. And I know when I saw lacrosse, and I think that was Councilmember Manala mentioned that, when you think about the partnerships, a lot of the youth, as was alluded to, have never been exposed to certain sports. And if there's a way to expose them, that would be good through our schools maybe, or we have a couple youth programs. So that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Sure, Councilmember DiGiovanni. I'm trying to go back in the same order as the questions posed as we first. So now I'm going to turn it over to the Vice Mayor. Any final comments?
Thank you. Again, thank you. I look forward to seeing a partnership where we improve our parks, but also, and that we benefit as well as the Olympic Club. The only two things, and again, parking, that's a concern. Lighting, I know was mentioned, but it's my understanding, one of the comments you might have made was lighting's already there. And so that, and again, the drainage, I'm listening to my colleagues here. I think the biggest thing is that we have that happy medium where you're happy and we're happy. And I know that Miss Denise Brown, she's a wealth of knowledge, and working with the rest of the staff, they know more than I and any of us how many events are held there. So we look forward to hearing how we go. So thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember Manalo, any?
Thank you,
Comments?
Mayor, and thank you for the presentation. I think this is in the initial stages, but the questions we have this evening, you've heard, and we just look forward to kind of the next steps in this process. I think even with my colleagues' questions around the master plan, I think that was very helpful. Obviously, we want an enhancement in that area, but to understand that you're working directly with our recreation staff and also with our other staff members, that it's a constant communication that's ongoing. And then you're adding the layer of hearing direct feedback from our residents and community members. And so with that, I think what we're looking at this evening, and I peeked at the MOU. I know we're at the presentations portion of it, but it says very clearly that it's a framework. This isn't anything that is finite. It's literally a framework, and a lot of the elements that our questions proposed were actually talked about in the MOU. And so I think there's a lot of room for this balance that everyone, I think, here would like to see. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Dr. Rod, any final comment?
Yes, I just want to commend the staff and the city and gentlemen from the Olympic Club for taking these steps for a discussion and having this MOU framework. I think I don't want to keep on reinforcing what's already been said, but just if you could please, within this growing conversation, that we center themes of equity and transparency, and what Councilman Manalo said, just this idea of listening and receiving and listening is what I expect, because we all want this to be a win-win for all of us.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Rod. And for me, for the final comment, I believe my colleagues have said it all. So I thank you again for being here this evening. And we look forward to hearing, seeing more from this concept. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Nevin, for leading
Thank
the
you.
charge. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. All right, the next item we have on the agenda is a presentation of a proclamation for Pride Month 2026. I don't have any notes here. Is there someone in the community who, okay, so basically I'll read a proclamation. This is a proclamation for Pride Month of June 2026. Whereas the City of Daly City recognizes and proclaims the month of June 26 as Pride Month throughout the city in celebrating the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, plus LGBTQIA plus community. And whereas the City of Daly City annually observes Pride Month with a flag-raising ceremony honoring the history of LGBTQIA plus rights movement and proudly raised the progress flag for the 7th consecutive year since on June 1st, 2026. And whereas Pride Month is a time to honor the history, celebrate the achievements, and reaffirm the rights of LGBTQIA plus community whose resilience, courage, and contributions have strengthened the fabric of our society, and whereas while meaningful progress has been achieved, many members of the LGBTQIA plus community continue to encounter barriers, prejudice, and inequities, highlighting the importance of continued efforts to ensure equal rights and opportunities for all. And whereas Pride Month provides an opportunity to celebrate the rich diversity of our community, amplify voices that have historically been underrepresented, and recognize the many identities and experiences that strengthen our society. And whereas the City of Daly City remains dedicated to fostering a welcoming community where all people are treated with dignity, respect, and fairness, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. Now, therefore, I, Glenn Sylvester, the mayor, and members of the City Council of the City of Daly City do hereby proclaim June 26th as Pride Month in the City of Daly City in support of LGBTQIA plus community. We further encourage all residents to celebrate diversity, foster inclusion, and reaffirm our shared commitment to ensuring that every person can live openly, safely, and authentically. Signed this day by the mayor and the City of Daly City and all council members. Congratulations. This is a proclamation for Pride Month 2026. Thank you all. Okay. All right. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the special meeting of May 26, of 2026, and the regular meeting of June 8, 2026.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Councilmember Manalo. Is there a second?
Second.
Was that you, Vice Mayor?
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
okay, thank you. We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Motion passes. The next item is the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Motion by Councilmember Di Giovanni. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Rod. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, now we move on to oral comment. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes unless modified by the mayor. The council cannot take any action on any matter raised under this item. I do have one card here I had made mention earlier. Mr. Rob Hall. Mr. Hall, I had asked you earlier, this is time for open comment, but did you have a specific agenda item you wanted to? Oh, okay, so come on up, please.
Sorry, I didn't wear a suit. I didn't
No,
realize.
you know what? This is a rare time because I don't always wear one either.
Oh, great. Well, you look great.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks for having me. My name is Rob Hall. I'm the lead pastor of New North Church. And was that a good O, Pamela? Okay. And I've been a pastor there for 20 years. I know I look a lot younger. Thank you. But yeah, we recently just purchased the building on Junipero Serra. Let me get the address because I always forget the address. 2488 Junipero Serra. It was the old Teamster building that turned into a bank, that turned into a real estate office that is now ours. We're not going to use it for a church, but for offices, for ministry space, meetings, things like that. We're going to call it New North HQ. And yeah, so I just wanted to introduce myself and our church. We're a large church. We meet currently in right on Brotherhood Way at 777 Brotherhood Way. What a great address, right? But we've been in Millbrae before. We were in San Bruno for many, many years. And now we're in San Francisco, but we have many people, hundreds of people that live on the peninsula and in Daly City.
Wow.
And so we want to be a blessing to the community. We want to serve support however we can. I met with the city manager and his team today. They were super gracious and hospitable. Their choice of coffee is interesting, but other than that, and so we had a great meeting today. I left super encouraged. They encouraged me to come here and introduce myself. So anything we can do to help, support, serve the city, we're hoping to, we're working with the city right now. Our plans are done, working with building department, getting permits, all that. Hope to move in hopefully by January, February.
Oh.
And then the space is going to be beautiful. You guys will be open to use it however you want. We want to bless the community with it as well. And
Nice.
there will be an incredible espresso machine as well. But that's it. I have no agenda other than saying hi.
Welcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Hall, thank you, first of all, for being here. And generally, I'm going to ask council, you don't have to make any comments because this is not an action item, but it's basically information only. But I'm feeling the vibes of good vibes, so if council wants
Good.
to say anything, please do. I'll start with Vice Mayor.
We can't.
There we go. Oh, that was nice. I didn't expect it. We don't normally do that.
Right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I look forward to trying your espresso machine.
Great.
I mean, their coffee's good too. But I'm sure if you're used to your own machine. But if you're going to have a ribbon cutting or anything, let us
Great.
know.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely. Great
That's
idea.
very exciting.
Okay, thank you. We will.
Congratulations
Thank
and
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and thank you for being here, Pastor. I think it's so wonderful. I know that building has been vacant for a while.
Yeah.
And so it's wonderful to see that it's going to bring life into that area. And we look forward to your invitation for the ribbon cutting. And thank you for introducing yourself
Right.
over here. And I do know the area on Brotherhood. And so that means you
Yeah.
do have a very big congregation.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Anyone else? All right, I'll make the final comment. Mr. Hall, thank you so much. Since you are such a connoisseur of fine coffee, I really thank staff because, there's a selection, but it's not an espresso machine. It's, right? Am I missing something?
Keurig, which
Keurig.
is which is
Okay.
awful. It's okay.
Well, as I was saying, Mr. Hall, since you are a connoisseur of fine coffee, feel free to come to the grand opening of Penelope's Coffee.
Yeah.
Daly City Business
Yeah.
this week. I think it's Wednesday. Is it
Wednesday, Gellert.
Wednesday
Great, yeah.
on Gellert Street?
Great.
The ribbon cutting. So
Great. Yeah. Yeah. They've been expanding all over the Bay Area.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
See, I
'Cause
just
they
learned
started-
that.
I first knew of them in Foster City, I believe.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Yeah.
And thank you for the compliments of staff, because that's very important to us, that staff works with all members of the community and to basically have an open door policy. So you've just validated for me that we appreciate our staff.
Oh
and
yeah, I was
thank
nervous. I've never met with city manager before, but they were really gracious.
Great.
And yeah, very encouraging. So
Great. Well, congratulations, sir, and we look forward to future endeavors. And
thank you, Mayor. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
all right, thank you, Mr. Hall. All right, the next item is the consent agenda. And Councilmember DiGiovanni spoke to me earlier that items 5, 6, and 9 should be pulled. However, we've already had discussion on item number 9 based upon the presentation number 1. But I'm still going to pull that for you, Councilmember DiGiovanni, in case there are some lingering questions that you may have.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't have any lingering questions,
Okay.
but about my colleagues.
Okay, so items number 5 and 6.
Sure.
Are there any other items?
But thank
for-
you, Mayor.
Sure, Council.
I'd like to have 8 pulled because I thought it would be important for us to hear a discussion on the crosswalks and cost sharing.
Okay, so that's 5, 6, 8. Councilmember Manalo, did you say something earlier? No?
I was gonna pull item number 8, but I think we're in synergy with Vice Mayor.
Okay, great. So, with the exception of 5, 6, and 8, I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and approve the rest of the items on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Who said second? Was that you, Vice
It's
Mayor?
okay.
It was a tie.
All right.
You could
well,
flip a coin either way.
All right. Well, we got a first and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, consent agenda has been approved, and we'll start off with item number 5, adopt appropriations limitation for fiscal year 2027. Mr. Neville.
Good evening again. Item number 5 recommends the adoption of the appropriations limitation for fiscal year 2027. As required by Article 13B of the state constitution, the city must adopt an appropriations limit for the following fiscal year. By resolution of May 26, 2026, council established its intent to adopt the appropriations limitation for fiscal year 2027. The attached calculations establishing the proceeds of taxes and appropriations limit for fiscal year 2027 have been online at www.dalycity.org and on file in the Finance Department since Friday, May 29th, 2026 for public inspection. An appropriate notice has been posted by the Office of the City Clerk. Staff recommends that the council adopt a resolution establishing the city's appropriations limitation for fiscal year 2027. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nevin. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Nevin. But for the public, would you mind just in a short, give it like a short little definition per se about what the appropriations limitation exactly is so that the public will know if they go to what they're looking for in dalycity.org? Would you mind? And thank you, by the way.
Sure. The appropriations are calculated every fiscal year, and it's based on a base year appropriation and also a change in per capita personal income and a change in population. So this year, for next fiscal year 2027, the limit would be $171,278,037 for the city of Daly City. There was a different limit that you approved on the sanitation district agenda that had its own limit for the sanitation district. To that appropriations limit, what you do is then you look at the estimated proceeds of taxes that will be received next fiscal year, 2027, which is estimated to be $111,641,990. So what this shows in terms of the appropriations limit is that our estimated proceeds of taxes will not be more than the limit is set. We'll be under the limit by almost $60 million. So we're really on the other side. Just to note in terms of what the limit showed on the sanitation district was the sanitation district. In most fiscal years, this happens is that the limit will be set and the proceeds of taxes from sewer service charges will exceed that limit. And what you must do in that case is just allocate any additional overage to capital improvement projects, and which we do every year. We associate anything over that limit to capital improvement projects for the sanitation district. So thank you for the question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Nevin. You're always very thorough and do great reports. Really appreciate it. And thank you for doing that for the public. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. Any other questions for Mr. Nevin? Hearing none and seeing none, Councilmember DiGiovanni, did you want to approve item number 5?
Yes, approval of number 5 on the limitations appropriations.
So we have a first. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 6, appropriate funds for electric vehicle Fleet Charging Infrastructure Project. Mr. Chu, good evening.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. This item is to appropriate funds for the electric vehicle fleet charging infrastructure project. City staff, we've been working with Peninsula Clean Energy for several years now in regards to designing solar EV charging facilities for our fleet vehicles. It's been a process of close to 2.5 years. There's many different designs for the corporation yard as well as City Hall. We've also been working with PCE and their consultants to apply for PG&E new service for these infrastructure projects. And all the designs that was done with PCE's consultant has been done at no cost to the city.
Wow.
Also, the applications for PG&E, there's 2 programs that we can apply for, where PG&E will bring in new service to our facilities at no cost to the city. And so at this moment, because all the designs have been completed, staff is ready to go out and secure contractors for getting the equipment and doing the installation as well as the electrical work. That work is what needs to be funded by the city, is the actual EV chargers themselves, the conduit routing for those and installing them, as well as the on-site electrical. And so staff is requesting $1 million to facilitate the installation for these EV charging infrastructures, and it'll cover the corporation yard as well as City Hall. So staff is recommending that the City Council appropriate $1 million of unallocated general fund CIP funds from Fund 333 for the electric vehicle fleet charging infrastructure project. That concludes my presentation. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chu. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Thank you, Mayor. First, Mr. Chu, for 2.5 years, you stuck with it, and I guess you've seen how everything already changed into the betterment of like the equipment and all that, and I want to defer to Councilmember Dr. Rod for sitting on the Peninsula Clean Energy, because I'm sure you've seen the same and how we're benefiting from that, and it'll be a cost savings down the road for us doing this. And so I really commend you for doing that, and I want the public to know, because this is something positive, that the city is continuing to do projects. But the projects are upfront, but they also will save the city, taxpayer dollars, and it'll be a positive for the environment. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate my colleague for sitting on Peninsula Clean Energy with all the great projects. Thank you, Mr. Chu.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. Any other comments?
Just-
Dr. Rob, please.
Mr. Chu, thank you for taking on this task, and it's been a humbling and honorable experience working with PG&E, especially with all the new technologies that are coming out, and so along with the cost savings, but just being future oriented towards a zero emissions future is what the hope that we're trying to become a reality.
Yeah, thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Rod. Any other comments? Councilmember Manalo, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Director Chu. Having the accessibility to more options, especially as our residents and workers choose electric, I think is huge. And the fact that it's no cost is great, and it's a testament to, thank you, Dr. Rod, for your commitment on PCE. But I think when these types of programs come through, and you've executed that through, Director, it's a win for the community. And we know that this not only helps our environment, but having more access is huge. Especially, for those that live in apartments and may not have their own garages, I think it helps. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Anyone else?
Go ahead,
I guess-
Mr. Chair.
Oh, Vice Mayor, did you make a comment?
I was just nodding with everybody, but thank you very much for this. It's very important. Obviously, we're ready. We will be ready as vehicles in the city become electric or at least hybrid type of vehicles. And then we are eventually going to save money, right? So it's a good thing. It's a win-win for the environment. And I agree with everything everybody said here. So thank you.
Great. Yeah, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so through the chair, I just want to clarify, this first installation for all of these chargers, these are going to be reserved for city fleet vehicles initially. And so as we're getting more electric vehicles, these chargers are reserved for city fleet vehicles, especially the corporation yard. That's probably not going to change. However, the ones at City Hall, depending on the usage and if there's availability, and if we can work out some of the ADA accessible EV charging spaces, then at some point in the future, some of these can be transitioned and maybe opened up to the public. So I just want to clarify that point. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Chu. How many vehicles do we have now, electric vehicles?
We probably have close to 15, maybe. Yes.
Is this a combination of electric and hybrid also included in this?
Including hybrid, we will have more
Okay,
than that.
about 15.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to get more.
Yes, we
And-
will be getting more, yes.
Oh, yes, definitely. The reason why I brought that up, because there's a term called dig once. And since Mr. Longhausen is still in the audience, perhaps we can make it a condition, we have already discussed that, for further RFPs, I've mentioned this before, that we can perhaps ask developers that if they're going to build new development, they could probably save money by digging once and put in the 220 level 3 charging as they build, so that it'll be easier to hook up level 3 charging. Police Department, we have a representative from the police department in the back. For the police department, I understand that we, as per the organized retail theft, the chief right there, okay. If you were a snake, chief, I would have been bitten.
We actually have the chief.
And I know we're going to discuss this later, but I've been doing my homework, and I've really learned a lot over this past week. Daly City has a grant, and it's the same line, Mr. Chu, because first of all, I commend you because you keep overturning these rocks and saving us money, and this is another classic example. But the organized retail theft grant, to which Daly City, in collaboration with other cities, San Bruno, San Mateo, received a grant from the California state to combat retail theft, to the tune, I think it was $8,033,000, to which Daly City received approximately $5 million of that, which brings me to the other point, because out of that grant, that's how we acquired an electric vehicle. I'm just wondering, through the help through PCE, I didn't read it. We got 3 of them. Oh, okay, see, even more so. And these are not hybrids, they're all fully electric. Oh, that's right, we just got some more, right?
Yeah, we got 3 Mach-E's, Ford Mach-E's through the grant for our community service officer program, and then we just acquired a police department Tesla, thanks to Public Works.
You didn't know that, did you?
No, I knew about that.
Oh, okay. All right. And they're Mach-E's, boy, I just wish we get some Teslas, but, okay. All right. Well, good, Mr. Chu. That sounds good. No, I'm just wondering, Chief, since I have the chief here, that the grant provides funding for CSO, I think it's lieutenants, sergeants, and further. I'm just wondering if we can divert some money away, but I'm sure you can answer that, Chief, or you can find the answer, to help with the installation of the charging stations, because you can buy electric vehicles, but if you don't have the infrastructure, I think everybody ought to contribute. And of course, I think having the grant, if that's possible. I'm just putting it out there. I didn't read it, so.
Yeah, the retail theft grant specifically is, the funds are pretty much already encumbered for all the costs associated. And it can't be
Associated.
necessarily
Right.
utilized for infrastructure outside of that for what's specific to retail theft. So a lot of that went into some of the Arctic technology that we have, staffing, some retail theft deployments, and all the fun things that we'll come and bring to council in a presentation here
Yeah,
shortly.
right. Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know, I'm trying to help Mr. Chu out and giving him additional mechanisms to find some money. So,
The Teslas are a little scary, though. They're a little powerful.
well,
So,
all right. Thank you, Chief. So, dig once, and when I was talking about Mr. Longhausen to provide maybe in the RFQ if developers would consider when they build to consider infrastructure for level 3 charging. But I also see here that the term dig once also applies to fiber optic cables. And why get back into the ground again when you should lay it first? And there is some fiber optic cables already in the ground, but it's called dark fiber and they're not activated. So I'm just rambling. I don't mean to do so, but I appreciate everything. I'm just trying to offer additional ways to. Electric is coming, and the reach codes have also been modified. So folks will have to. Well, they prefer to put in electric appliances, and there's some folks who are grandfathered in. So I just wanted to bring that point out. All right, that's enough for me. Anybody else have any comments? Councilmember DiGiovanni, did you want to make a motion to approve item number 6?
Motion to approve item number 6.
Is there a second? Glenn
Second.
Sylvester, I will second.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There we go again. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Chu.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 8. Authorize agreement with the Jefferson Elementary School District, JESD, for cost sharing of crossing guard services through all city management services for the school year of 2026, 2027, and I believe the Vice Mayor pulled this item. Vice Mayor, is that you, Chief? You're going to do this one? Okay. We'll let you start off, sir.
Thank you.
great. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. Before you this evening is an agreement with the Jefferson Elementary School District for cost sharing of crossing guard services through all city management services for the next upcoming school year. For several years, the police department has agreed to share costs with the Jefferson Elementary School District for crossing guard services at identified school sites. As in previous years, the Jefferson Elementary School District has agreed to cover 50% of the cost, with the city paying the remaining 50%. The Daly City Police Department has an agreement with All City Management Services Incorporated to provide crossing guard services at 13 Jefferson Elementary School District school site locations in Daly City. The total cost of the contract for the school year of 26-27 with ACMS is not to exceed $272,095.20. The Jefferson Elementary School District has agreed to pay 50% of the program's total cost, not to exceed $136,047.60. The ACMS contract and split cost agreement will be provided and approved by the JESD School Board, which I believe actually occurred last week. Funds are available in the police department operating budget to fund the portion to be covered by the city. And staff is available for questions if you have any.
Thank you, Chief. Vice Mayor.
First of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for presenting. Is this something that we've done in previous years and it just comes up every year?
It is. It's a contract that we've had for probably over 10 years. Many years ago, we used to manage the crossing guard program out of a senior police assistant, but just management aspects and whatnot, it was more cost efficient to have a company specialized, and they service multiple states in the western states, all throughout the state of California as well.
Good. Well, thank you for this. It's important. Save the kids and save anybody who's crossing.
Sure.
So it's very good. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other comments? Councilmember Manalo?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Chief, for this presentation. I think, as we pull this item, it's so important, making sure our children are safe when they're walking. And when I see the sites here that's being covered, I mean, it's really like important sites, especially when they're crossing, right? We see Eastmore and Murata, East Market and Hillside. I remember, walking that when we're looking at towards making sure it's the safety, Price and Bonnie. I mean, this is obviously all around the schools, especially when they're going to school and leaving the school. The continued priority for this is important, and I'm really glad to see that we're able to ensure that the funding for these partnership for our youth continues. And so, yeah, you have Hanover and Whittier, what's that, Lakeshore Drive in Midvale, basically all the areas by our beloved elementary schools. So
Yes,
thank you for keeping our children safe.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Any other comments? All right, Vice Mayor,
Yes, sir.
would you be willing to make a motion to approve this item?
I'd like to make a motion to approve this item.
Second?
We have a first and a second. Any further concerns or comments? With that being said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion-
you.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. That is the end of the consent agenda. We'll move on to public hearings. Item number 12, the zone change. ZC 0-04-26-17042. Mr. Lunkhausen.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. We are requesting this item be tabled at this time. Essentially, the state of California is continuing to review some of the changes that we are requesting for ADUs, and they need to approve those before this item can move any further along. So we're recommending a tabling of this.
Thank you, Mr. Longhausen. Just to follow correct protocol, what I'd like to do is now open the session for public hearing. And at this time, I don't have any cards. So since I opened it, I would entertain a motion to close.
Motion to close?
Second.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. He was first.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. To reiterate, it is requested that this that this item be tabled at this time pending further information from the state.
Yes.
So, I saw the look on everyone's face. If it's going to be tabled, there's no need to make a motion. So my apologies for that.
We just
Is
need
that-
a motion for the table if I can.
Okay.
By motion, yes.
Okay, so who would like to make the motion?
Motion to table.
Second?
Okay, did you?
No.
No, I know Councilmember Giovanni. We got the first by Councilmember Malalo, the second by Councilmember Giovanni. All those in favor of tabling this matter, say aye.
Aye.
And thank you, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lunkhausen. Item number 13, adopt resolution approving increases and updates to the parking violation fine schedule. Chief Christensen?
All right, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. Before you this evening is a request to adopt a resolution to increase parking violation fines utilized by the police department for enforcing parking regulations. The last time parking fines were increased were in 2019. In 2023, there was a single addition and 3 additional updates specific to commercial vehicle permitting and parking. Parking continues to be a quality of life and public safety concern for our community, having a significant impact on calls for service. We have received nearly 10,000 parking calls since January of 2024 and are on pace to have a higher number this year than in previous years. Common issues are double parking, parking on sidewalks, blocking driveways and crosswalks, hill holds, permitted parking for residents, and street sweeping regulations. We took into consideration the impacts increased parking fines may have. On one hand, we have the increased fine burden on our community, yet on the other, parking is a premium, and parking violations lead to disputes, frustration, and safety issues within the community. Unlike fees which consider cost recovery, these fines are focused on improving parking behavior and improving quality of life and safety. In evaluating parking violation fine increases, we considered several factors, with population density being one of them. Density is one of the biggest contributors towards parking challenges, and Daly City is ranked the top for San Mateo County agencies and is more aligned with portions of a metropolitan city. We took into consideration fine schedules for surrounding cities and San Mateo County cities as well. And this data is specific to a 2020 consensus data. Parking challenges are also increased by impacts from transit hubs, adjacency to large metropolitan city, limited garage parking due to older infrastructure, and our adherence to the street sweeping regulations to remove debris and pollutants from storm water runoff. Staff reviewed surrounding cities' fines and learned that out of the 19 cities in San Mateo County that were evaluated, only 6 cities had updated their parking fines within the last 4 years. Not all cities in the county share the same parking challenges as our city. Of the 19 cities in our county, 2 cities have similar parking challenges as us, and their fines are higher than our existing fines in almost all categories, as they were raised within the last 2 years. Staff evaluated various metrics when determining what an acceptable increase was for each violation. We wanted to ensure any increase was fair and reasonable, comparable with other cities, and defensible based on those metrics. Averages from all the cities in the county were examined and compared to our existing and proposed fines, weighted towards the comparable cities and those that most recently raised their fines. Additionally, staff reviewed the adjacent metropolitan city parking fines, but did not include those numbers in any averages when we determined our numbers. We also recognized that future increases would be smoothed out over time by including future increases in the annual master fee schedule that was brought before council. Those increases would be independently evaluated. And additionally, staff reviewed specific fines that are frequently cited or specific fines we frequently receive calls for service or for due to the community and public safety needs. Appeals and payment plans. People do have an opportunity to appeal their citations online through pticket.com. The first level is just an online application where they upload their appeal in writing and or provide any supporting documentation to support why it was issued in error. That's reviewed by our traffic sergeant on a pretty much daily basis. We receive approximately 15 to 20 of those on average every single day that somebody needs to go through and review. Depending on the result of that, the person receiving the citation can then take it to an additional administrative hearing, which is coordinated through TurboData, which manages all of our citation processing. And then after that would go through the court system, should they choose to continue. We do also allow for payment considerations for citations and or buildup of citations available to low income. And then you also can apply through P-Ticket as well. It's open to household occupancy and annual income limits, as well as those receiving public benefit recipients. And we do have several people that are currently on payment plans. Fiscal impact. So the fiscal year 24-25, we wrote approximately 78,000 citations and received approximately $2.4 million in generated revenue. The proposed increases this evening are estimated to increase an additional $600,000 in revenue per fiscal year. And just some things that I learned on the right bottom hand corner there. For every citation that we write, $5 goes to the county, $7.50 goes to the state, $2 for every $10 that's collected in disabled parking citations go to the county, and 50% of correctable citations, so registration, license plates, things of those nature, go to the county as well. And just as a side note, we only collect approximately 60 to 75% on all the citations that are issued. And finally, recommendation again in council to adopt a resolution approving proposed increases to the parking violation fine schedule understanding that future increases will be considered independently and brought to council with the annual master fee schedule. And staff is available to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you, Chief. Can you go back one slide, Vice Mayor?
I know, I was looking at that, thank you.
Yeah, well,
So I didn't catch it. Hold on.
Be happy to share the presentation as well.
Great, that'd be great.
Thank you.
you're welcome, Vice Mayor. Thank you, Chief, for your presentation. I'll open it up to council for any questions, verification, validation, concerns, anything.
Well, you and I, we were there, so, may I?
Sure,
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for this report and for your staff. I mean, I know this didn't just happen. And just to let people know, there was a lot of work done with regards to checking out neighboring cities, what their fees were, when they upped their fees, when they haven't updated their fees. And I would just commend you and your staff for doing all that work because it makes it easier for us to understand why we're at these amounts. And to be honest, many of the citations were only $5 or so up since, and you said 2017, right?
2019.
Oh, 19. Thank you for the correction. And I just wanted to just say it was an interesting meeting. The mayor and I got to sit with you and just understand the process. So I would like to thank you. I feel very comfortable with what you're presenting today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other questions? Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Just in short, extremely thorough, thought about everything. I can't think of anything that was left out and took a lot of considerations into all the factors. And it's nice to see, I think that's why when I tell everybody, we don't get all the money. The state gets a piece and the county gets a piece. Because everybody thinks that we're, like, every time there's a ticket, and our ticket fees, I think we're averaging $33 or whatever. They're like, oh, San Francisco, they're $100 or whatever. So, I mean, that is really thorough, Chief, and to your staff and everyone that took in consideration is an excellent job. And we do need to do something. And then it's constantly, like you said, it's constant every single day. People parking in the driveway, people can't get out, double parked in the street, nobody's in the car. You drive by and you think somebody's in the car to see if they'll move. They don't even move. They're already in the house and they're parking. I didn't understand the why they do that, but I've never seen a city that had so much double parking. But thank you very much, and it's very thorough, extremely thorough, and all factors were considered, and appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you, Mayor. I think it was excellent.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. Were there any other
Even the
comments?
low income.
Oh, Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation, Chief. And I think when you look at the last time was 2019, it was time to revisit this. And obviously, it shows that we are the most dense city in the peninsula. But when I look at some of the fees that you did not increase, I think you're looking at a balance. And also, I think one question to ask, Chief, is do you think you have enough staff to administer? Like, as far as obviously there's this situation, but then do you think you have enough staff to support you?
Yeah, I do.
The parking piece.
Absolutely. When we are fully staffed with our police assistants, we have 14 on top of the community service officers that we have now out in the field, which are additional 4 to 5, and then police officers as well. So a lot of the parking fines and the violations that we look at aren't necessarily proactive parking violations that we go out and seek. Understanding the challenges that we have in our city, we try and be relatively lenient. So a lot of them are based on complaint from other members of the community. But there are certain ones, specifically street sweeping, things like that, that have regulations behind them and/or public safety, parking in red zones, handicap violations, ones that we will proactively go out and enforce. And we do have sufficient staff to manage those for sure.
Thank you for that. And I think, thank you for recognizing those that obviously with ADA situations and in regards to when these violations occur, obviously, you know, we want the safety of our community, but also I think there's also a balance of letting folks know, like, hey, this is not okay. Like if, you know what I'm saying, like that balance. Like if you see someone recurring and doing it all the time, in that respect. But, if it's, someone with a baby, like trying to grab, like there's situations. And I know that your staff has, the compassion in that respect.
Sure.
But we need to increase this. We're below what other cities are, and I think that safety is at the top of priority. So,
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Chief, again, as the Vice Mayor alluded to, we had the pleasure of seeing this before it came to council, and many questions was asked. And I'm going to address some of those that we had questions about. One was, again, I have to thank your staff because, as Mr. Nevin knows, I always look at the numbers and I look at the variance, what the fine was before and what it is now, and how much of a variance had it gone up. So that's one thing I looked at, well, we both looked at. The other thing we looked at was, I lost my thought, but I'm gonna move on from that because I know it's going to come back to me. The other that we looked at is the programs you have available for the public, because this can be a difficult thing for some drivers who have difficulty. And my attitude has changed because I feel that if you can afford a car to drive, you can afford to pay the ticket. But my attitude's changed because there's low income, as you made mention, and you also have something that you made mention about public benefit. I guess recipients who can utilize public benefit for an appeal or something like that. I think you had made mention about that.
Yeah, it allows them to apply for the payment plan if they
payment
need
plan.
assistance paying
Right.
over time and splitting those costs up.
Yeah, I was very impressed with that. And again, staff for providing the variances in the percentages. And as the Vice Mayor had says, I was impressed with what other cities were charging for their fines. And one of the highest ones, I'm not going to make mention, but we're pretty low. And to reiterate, as what Councilmember Manalo just asked you the question, a lot of folks do not know that we get a certain percentage of it, not necessarily all of it. So that's something to know. Okay, here's one point. And Chief, you beat me to the punch because just on the last comment you made mention, it is my experience that here in Daly City, we tend to be very, very lenient, with the exception of street cleaning, because as that truck comes by, and if you're out there, we're not going to be lenient with you because you know when street cleaning is. But I've seen other violations, and it still happens. But we don't enforce those violations because our officers and CSOs know the difficulty that we face here in Daly City. But the times that we will enforce that is if somebody complains. If somebody complains, then we have to take action. So I have to commend you for that because you also made mention. And one last point I wanted to make mention, as you said in one of your first or second slide, ladies and gentlemen, this is not trying to bring in more revenue for the city. Basically, the concept here is to try to change people's behavior in parking.
Yes.
And the vice mayor and I looked at that. Wow, we didn't really think, because we thought it was all about money, money, money. We are going to be bringing in some money, but the fact is, maybe we can change your behavior, and hopefully that will work out. So I just wanted to bring those points to view, and that's all the comments I have at this time.
Thank you.
All right, so let me see. I'd like to open it at this time for the public for any comments. Madam City Clerk, I assume we don't have any cards, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Motion, anyone?
So moved.
Motion by Dr. Roz, there a second.
Second.
Second, was that you? I don't know if it's my left ear or something. We have a first and a second. Any further discussion?
It was Vice Mayor.
May I have a roll call vote, please?
May I
I'm
one
sorry.
comment before?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Before voting on this, I think one comment I want to bring up around safety, and I know we are already, it's hard to be in a dense city, but I know the state law passed the curb, the red curb, and I think that is an important feature for us to look into because we are a dense city. Like, I mean, I know when people can't find parking, but when you can't see on the curbs, it's
20
definitely
feet from an intersection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a safety concern, right?
Yes.
And so I feel that like if there's any grants or whatnot, I don't know. Obviously, that costs money to paint the curbs red, but I feel like if we're talking about like behavioral or whatnot, I think because it's not marked, you know, common sense tells you, I don't want to park at the corner. Your car might get hit, or like literally you're gonna block like when when someone's
view.
turning, right? But I think that's why the state law was passed. But I think if we're able to do that, it would be also a precautionary way to ensure that there's more visibility for pedestrians, seeing pedestrians, and also more visibility to make sure seeing other cars.
Sure.
So since we're on the line of the parking piece, I wanted to bring that up. But thank you for allowing me for that comment, Mayor. That came to mind after seeing all of the parking pieces. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Nalo. All right. Any other comments before we take the roll call vote? All right, Madam City Clerk, may I have a roll call, please? Vote, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye.
Ms. Perano?
Aye.
Ms. Manalo?
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester?
Glenn Sylvester, aye. Thank you very much. The motion has,
Thank you.
the resolution has passed. Thank you. The next item is the award of bids and contracts. Item number 14, award of construction contract for the Westlake Slurry Seal Project. You and Ms. Chen, welcome.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Council members. Tonight, staff is asking for the award of the construction contract for the Westlake Slurry Seal Project. Staff recommends that the City Council approve the design documents for the Westlake Slurry Seal Project, affirm the California Environmental Quality Act determination of categorical exemption, accept all responsive bids, and award a construction contract to Graham Contractors of San Jose, California, in the amount of $2,341,427.51, and authorize the city manager to execute all necessary contracts to complete the project. Since 1998, the city has undertaken a comprehensive street pavement preventative maintenance program. The cornerstone of this program is an annual slurry seal project as the single most effective, cost-effective means to preserve a pavement condition and thereby reduce long-term pavement operations and maintenance costs. Slurry seal replaces the fine aggregate strip from the pavement surface, reduces water penetration in the roadway base, and thereby reduces base failures and the resulting damage that is more costly to repair. Streets selected to be surface sealed are based on several factors, including the city's 7-year master plan, the city's computer-based pavement management system recommendations, visual observations of the streets by public works staff, and other upcoming or associated works such as utility repairs and bike lane installations. The construction bid documents, including slurry sealing, includes slurry sealing approximately 13.9 miles of city streets in the Westlake neighborhood. The purpose of the Westlake Slurry Seal project is to slurry seal city streets in the Westlake area to extend the useful life of the pavement and install traffic striping and pavement markings. The construction bid documents were prepared in-house by engineering staff with the help of engineering interns. The project was advertised on May 10th, 2026, and 3 bids were received on June 2nd, 2026, with total bids ranging from $2.341 million to $2.716 million. Graham Contractors of San Jose, California, has been in business since 1976. The bidder holds the required Class A contractor's license, which is current and in good standing. The contractor's references for work performed for other public agencies are acceptable, including projects for the City of San Jose, County of Santa Clara, and City of Sunnyvale. The low bid for this project is approximately 19.8% lower than in the engineer's estimated cost, which was based on unit prices received from last year's slurry seal project. If the slurry seal project is awarded as recommended, construction is anticipated to start in July 2026 and be completed by January 2027. Striping changes are included in the design to incorporate Vision Zero strategies on the city's high injury network within the project area. These changes include adjusting the location of limit lines to behind the curb ramps, adjusting lane lines for better alignment, and installing high visibility crosswalks. The total estimated construction cost for the Westlake Slurry Seal project is $2.81 million, which includes $2,341,427.51 for a construction contract and a 20% contingency for inspection and administration. Sufficient funds are available in the CIP project account, Westlake 217-61200 Westlake Slurry Seal project, to fully fund this construction contract. So in summary, staff recommends that the City Council approve the design documents for the Westlake Slurry Seal project, affirm the CEQA determination of categorical exemption, accept all responsive bids, and award a construction contract to Graham Contractors of San Jose in the amount of $2,341,427,051 and authorize the city manager to execute all necessary contracts to complete the project. Staff is available if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I appreciate it. Just my own little pet peeve. I think a long time ago, I might have walked with you, Richard, when I had a few questions when they did my block in my neighborhood. And I understand slurry seals may not just be a layer of paint, let's say. There is some, what is it called? What is it called? Yeah. Well, what happens is, what happened on my block, the last couple times it's happened is pebbles, little pebbles, and there's piles of pebbles. You can see it up and down the street. You could see it on Juniper Serra. I could have seen it in my area when it was done. It's almost as if it didn't process properly and it didn't stay down. Having those pebbles go down the drain, get in our homes, it messed up my I have wood stairs, and I have little holes in my stairs because it got on people's feet, shoes, and so I'm just curious is when we do this process, we're going to make sure there's a way, because I've been in other cities where they do it. I saw it in Burlingame, and there were little pebbles all over the place and on the ends of the road, it stayed put. So, I mean, I don't know enough. So if you could explain why we had it and will it happen again?
Yeah, there's many different types of surface treatment, and so what's being proposed and has in the past is a slurry seal, which is a coating to seal some of the smaller cracks and then also kind of replenishes the aggregate. So one of the things that we saw, and I remember going out there with you, is making sure that they have sufficient sweepers to follow. Some of that is typical, and so making sure that the sweepers are there. And then even after it's done, sometimes there's a little bit of extra fine material that comes off, but making sure that they have the right mixture of the material, as well as making sure that they have adequate street sweeping. And there's been situations where sweeper broke down, things like that, but that's something that we've indicated to our inspector to really focus on, make sure that they've got the equipment that are operating properly, and then we do a careful review of the submittal for the mixture design, just to try to minimize that from happening. So.
Yeah, that was a concern. I also noticed that sometimes wherever they placed the machine, there'd be a big swirl, and it's like they put something down and they didn't make sure it should have been on it. If that's going to be finished, it's going to be finished nicely. Go ahead.
Yes. So more often than not, it's vehicles and cars that are. Actually, they're supposed to wait until the material dries completely before they drive over it. Sometimes vehicles do end up in there before it's completely dry, and then we do need to work with the contractor to come back and kind of fix those areas. But again, we've iterated to our construction inspector to really focus on some of those things, just to minimize that from happening.
Okay.
So,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other comments?
I do.
Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and thank you for your presentation, both of you, around this. I think one thing I'm very proud of to say is when people ask, like, well, how do you know the borderline between Daly City and the other jurisdictions? And one thing I say is, well, look at the floor. All right, because our slurry seal is darker, and honestly, because we have this program, there's really a schedule to make sure that our streets are upkept. And so I want to say thank you to that. Residents have said, oh, that's right, I noticed the floor now. Besides the obvious, the signs. But I say, look at the floor, that's where you know the line, right? The line has reached. But I just want to say thank you for all the work that you do. And I know that our residents appreciate it to a point when they say, when is it our turn? Right? Again. So thank you for the work that you do on this. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? No. Yeah, I have a comment. Councilmember Manalo, I'm always looking to help everybody increase their knowledge. Excuse me, do you know another way to tell if you're in Daly City?
Yes.
Other than El Camino Real, I mean, I know it's a state highway, but that one needs some work. Go ahead, Justin. You're right.
Sign?
Right. Tell us.
With the bird, with our seagull sign.
No, another way.
No, there's another way.
Right.
Not just the signs?
You're close. The street signs are blue and white.
Oh, yes. No, I was saying the signs with the seagulls.
Oh, well,
right?
if you look closely on the top, there's a bird. But
yes,
you just look
yes,
up,
yes,
if
yes.
it's a blue and white sign,
The
you're
blue
in San
and white
Francisco.
versus
you're
green.
in Daly City.
Yes.
And then we also have in places green and white. And then San Francisco is black and white. Okay, so that's one way to
Thank you, Mayor.
way to tell. And wow, that's a lot of money, Mr. Chu. Next time a slurry seal come up, I'm going to be looking at the numbers because according to my calculations, that's costing us $202,158 per mile, or 38.28 cents a foot. And we're doing 13.9 miles. Wow, that's a lot of money. So next time it comes up, let me look at that. But that's all I have. Great job. And we'll go ahead and move ahead with a motion for item number 14, accept the award of construction contract for the Westlake Slurry Seal Project.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Councilmember Manalo,
Second.
second by Dr. Rod. Oh, I didn't open this up for public hearing. There are no cards. Subsequently, we'll close the public hearing. Okay, we do have a motion on the floor. Is there any further comments, concerns? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Aye.
Dr. Rod,
Aye.
Ms. Perano,
Aye.
Ms. Manalo,
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester.
Glenn Sylvester, aye. Thank you very much, Mr. Chu and
Thank you.
Ms. Chen.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chu.
Next item is appointments, board, commissions, membership, or committee appointments. Okay, I don't see any. We'll move on. Next is reports, and we'll start off with council committee reports.
Let's see here.
Dr. Rod,
Yes, I do.
was it PCE?
No.
Oh,
It's another
okay.
thing. So I served as an alternate for Councilmember Manalo on June 11th, 2026 for their CCAG meeting. There was like four main themes that was discussed: transportation, budget, housing, and regional coordination. So some of the major highlights was the acceptance and updated San Bruno, South San Francisco community-based transportation plan, which was developed to improve mobility for equity priority communities and historically underserved residents. The plan update drew on community input from more than 400 residents, included 36 priority recommendations, and had prior support from San Bruno and South San Francisco. And so that was passed. They also adopted a 2026-27 CCAG program budget and member fees. Another thing that we talked about was legislative and funding updates. And so there was legislative updates on the concerns about transportation, housing, stormwater regulation, and e-bike policy at both the state and federal levels. One big highlight was we had, after our closed session, we approved a resolution to appoint Kaki Chung as interim executive director for CCAG. And so she will be, acting appointment will be on July 9th, 2026. The reason why was because we felt like the leadership actions from all the jurisdictions from CCAG provided consistent and continuous leadership. And so again, in conclusion, the takeaways was transportation equity planning, CCAG's upcoming work that will be influenced by rising, The third is housing, climate, and stormwater coordination continue to be closely tied to partnerships and external grants. Okay, and then the next meeting will not be it'll be in Redwood City, but it'll be at the library next time. So Councilman Manalo, just look out for location. It'll be at the library, and they're doing it so that it's more central to everybody's distance and driving. I mean, not for us, but
Yeah, I was hoping they were gonna move to Millbrae. Because they have the new Samtrans building.
I don't know when, but they're still trying. They're still renovating the CCAG Sam's Trans location. So they want to do something different, and they wanted to use I think it's the Redwood City Library or something like that. Yeah.
Thank you for the heads
Yeah.
up. It'll be a little longer now.
Yes.
Yeah, little, but thank you.
No problem.
I want to say, may I thank Dr. Rod. Thank you, Dr.
Not a
Rod, for
problem.
being an alternate. I appreciate you, being there as an alternate.
Yeah, not a problem.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Rod. Okay, are there any other council committee reports? All right, I'm going through my notes here. Mosquito District, we met on June 10th. Everything is business as usual. They're moving ahead with its new building, or additional building at 1415 Carolyn Avenue. The mosquito tax assessed, we voted to keep it the same. According to my notes, I believe it's been that same amount for both districts since I think it's 1992.
Wow.
So that was a good thing. I was offered to go to training on August 24th. Oh, we'll be dark then, huh? August 24th?
August
We will? All right. I'm not going there, training. Because when they told me 113 degrees, I said no. Palm Desert. But other than that, everything's good in the mosquito district. I mean, folks are smiling. Tim, did you want to take my place? All right, that's all I have for council committee. Anyone else? Okay, how about city council reports? I know there's a lot happened this
Well,
past month.
May I?
Uh,
A few?
Vice Mayor?
Okay,
Sure.
I'll throw in a couple.
Oh, please.
Okay. Wednesday, June 10th, the Daly City Host Lions Club had their installation luncheon at Dave & Buster's. And I would just like to say congratulations to the new board of directors. I'll be serving as a director again this year for the club. And so that was, and we missed you, Lion. Jocelyn, I know you were busy, so I know you would have been there. Saturday, and I'll be brief because I know the four of us were there. I attended the mayor, Mayor Sylvester, council members Manalo and Dasmagwal, and myself. We were at the PBRC's Bayanihan, see if I got that right after, Kamayan Feast at Pacelli Gym. Beautiful dancing, singing, friendship, amazing food. So thank you to Tita Perla and her board, a great event. Monday, June 15, I attended the Cora Daly City Council of Homeowners and Residents Association meeting. I think it's fair to say that we're still blessed with homeowners associations that care about their community. We had a representative from Broadmoor Property Owners Association, Franciscan Mobile Home Park, Hillside Homeowners Improvement Association, Original Daly City Protective Association, Skyline Palisades Residential Association, Southern Hills Homeowners Association. So it was a very informative meeting in that they were discussing their concerns and kind of to put it into a nutshell, many people were talking about cars being parked on corners, especially Uber vehicles, people parking on sidewalks, especially during the evening. They were saying that if this is the building, they park right up to their building, so there's a little way to walk. But that's a big issue at all the different areas in City of Daly City, as we well know. And then illegal dumping, especially they talked about Hillside. I did make mention to them about the illegal dumping committee and what we're all doing there. I made mention as well that I would bring this up to the meeting. So that's it. I did. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Dr. Rod?
I'll just do a quick one. I just want to say thank you to staff and Park and Rec for FoggyCon. Holy smokes, that was incredible. And then I'll keep mine brief because I know Mayor was there, and then I saw Councilmember Manalo's husband Elle and Ethan selling. They were also vendors. But I was walking around and I felt like I was talking to more people that were from like other places. They were coming into our community, and also Daly City folks. And three themes that came up was one, affordability, accessibility, and memories made.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of my folks that were coming in from San Francisco, they were like, "Man, what y'all are doing here in Daly City is incredible. From top of the hill, it's accessible to come with your family, just like FoggyCon. We come with our family. The prices are so affordable. I could bring my whole family, and we could just spend less than $20 and or so, and walk around and be part of an event that will have lasting memories." And so, like, they're talking about parking, so we could drive, in the parking lot, and everybody had an amazing time. My son and I had a great time as well. He had a great time trying to explain to me what Resident Evil was, and we took pictures with that. I was like, "Who is this guy? Park Ranger or something?" I don't know. But we took pictures with him, and then it felt like a good family reunion. Walking almost every 5 to 10 feet, it was friends or family that just came up and were like, "Rod, this is great. Whose idea was it?" I was like, "I don't know, Park and Rec," you know? And so just thank you to Park and Rec and everybody in the city for a great FoggyCon.
Yeah. May I just jump right in? I'm sorry
yeah.
I said something. I just want to say how much I'm so sorry I missed this. I told as many people as I could, but I unfortunately had to go to Disneyland with my grandkids. And if not, it was the only other place besides the happiest place on earth I wanted to be there. So I can't wait for next year. And
Yeah, next year's gonna be
just
great.
amazing. So I'd like to thank the staff. Mayor, in case you had something to do with it, I want to thank you.
Yes.
But I'd like to thank you because it's 100% what Dr. Rod said. And there was one in San Francisco, let's say about a year ago. My grandson wanted to go. So we checked it out. It was going to be $75 a person to get in. That's with nothing, just to walk in the door. So we didn't go. But I will definitely be there next year, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for letting me jump in, Mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Dr. Rod?
Yes, all done. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone,
ready to go.
Jocelyn?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I wanted to share that on CCAG, prior to the meeting that Dr. Rod participated in, there was an ad hoc committee choosing a consultant for hiring the next executive director for CCAG. And what we proposed was Bob Murray and Associates for that process.
They're good.
And then it was sent to the full board for that recommendation. Also, I had the honor and opportunity to swear in the new officers of ALICE, Alliance for Community Empowerment, whose mission is to combat domestic violence. The new board members are Lizelle Chan Lucero, Jacob Sessi. This is led by Cherie Corral Moreno and Dr. J. Africa. I'm hopeful that we will have a presentation by them, by Alice, during Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October. Also, congratulations to Billionaro News Channel. They opened up a North American bureau called BNC North America, headed by Henny Espinoza. Also want to thank Dr. Rod Dasmagwal for representing CCAG, as I hosted the Southern California Nurse to Dead team to premiere their series filming in LA. It is the first streaming service which will have the first bilingual series on American soil highlighting Philippine nurses. You can watch it on iWant and download it. But if you talk about a series that is very emotional, but also with comedy, I know that Dr. Rod's wife, Commissioner Arlene, was there as well to see it. But it has also corny moments, but you download it and you're able to watch, I think, one of the series every week. And then also on Philippine Independence Day, I joined the Lincoln Seniors. It was really nice to see them with their dancing, their food, and wonderful cultural attire. That same day on Philippine Independence Day, I later joined the Chief of Protocol, Penny Coulter, and leaders in the San Francisco Bay Area to raise the Philippine flag with the Philippine Consulate, Arnell and his staff in the city and county of San Francisco. And then later that evening, was able to join the Philippine Consulate at their commemoration at their Philippine Consular headquarters. That the Peninsula Division Partnership Appreciation happened at Pinstripes in San Mateo, but was really a way to say thank you to our partners, whether they are in the corporate nonprofit sector. The Peninsula Division of Cal Cities goes all the way from San Francisco all the way to San Jose. And so when we talk about regional opportunities and issues to collaborate, it's really a place where we're able to share good best practices that are happening with other jurisdictions and also share what we're doing here in our city of Daly City. Who was present was Senator Josh Becker was able to join as well, and many other leaders from both Santa Clara County and San Mateo County. And then was able to join San Mateo Pride Celebration. I think one thing I want to highlight about the San Mateo Pride Celebration is it's really very family friendly. Continuously, there is no alcoholic beverages during that event, and so I think it's a place where it's family friendly and really celebrating the pride and joy for our LGBTQ plus A community and solidarity. And then also the Bayanihan Kamayan Fest was really amazing. I think the spread that they were able to do, I didn't expect it that large. And I was like, wow, they thought of every particular dish. And that was really wonderful to see. Obviously for a good cause with the Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center. And the Philippine flag raising on the 16th, I just want to say, Tom, thank you for thinking about our elders, for Tita Perla. I know that last year she was almost literally going to be blown away. I think at that time, Mayor Rod, you put your coat around her, but she couldn't withstand it, and you found a way. That was to make sure there is a fence, that there, and also aesthetically putting our seal. So it's really a wonderful outdoor event space with all of the logistics of wind. And so I just want to say kudos to that. And also wanted to share with everyone, met with a private business owner that would like to put up a Filipino-American history mural on their private property. And so we're looking at next steps by Top of the Hill. And they have commissioned, hopefully with all ducks in a row, artist Venezier. So that is exciting, to see. I know we hope that the Seafood City one, and that is something we'll request with the city manager to revisit, because I think, I don't know where that's at, but I think the community, we've expressed on the committees in the past around highlighting a local artist. I think that's very important, having a local artist from the community versus somewhere else. Also joined the Broadmoor Properties Owners Association. Earlier, we weren't able to dissect all the names, but with Christine Taliva Aguirre, who led the association, really around the concerns of flooding. We've seen it. I think people have watched on the news when they say, there's flooding in Daly City. And then we're like, well, it's not really Daly City, right? Like it's Broadmoor, right? And so it's us working together, as mentioned earlier, on a more neighborly approach, and obviously at sometimes it heads over to our city hall, right? Who was there was wastewater Josh Cosgrove, Director Chu of Public Works, Supervisor David Canapa, Armand Kapoor, the founder of Floodbeam. He is a teenager that actually is using sensories to be able to detect water, I think sensing water prior to the levels increasing higher. So it's a preventive measure. And I think as a young teenager, it was really wonderful to see the next generation try to solve and help us solve a problem. And so he's the founder of Floodbeam. And then Tori, that's the name, Tori Newman, the director of San Mateo Public Works. Also was able to attend the Bay Area Amador Lions Club charter meeting with Angie Louie. So another Lions Club has emerged to service. I also wanted to say happy Juneteenth to everyone. I remember during my term as mayor, ignited the holiday for our staff and Daly City to commemorate this important milestone in the United States, a historic moment when those who were enslaved learned of their freedom in Galveston, Texas. And so I know that, we commemorate and celebrate it in other cities, but I'm really glad that us as a city, we take the day with our workers to have that commemoration. And then I have to echo, FoggyCon was amazing. Mayor, you and Atenita's booth, I think, had a shop that was nonstop. And now we know that Pokemon cards are the way to go and not action figures. Congratulations, Park and Rec, Denise, wonderfully done to all your staff. I also wanted to give a shout out to Eric Gus, because I think he shared with you the idea, and Denise, you ran with it. And so to the community member, Gus, for bringing this idea to Denise. So thank you. We had a Ube festival in Daly City at Cow Palace. And so if you saw the news coverage on that, it was on repeat on all the different channels. And I didn't hear about that from someone in Daly City. It was a colleague of mine in San Francisco saying, how was the event in Daly City? I kept seeing it on the news. And so when we talk about having events that put Daly City on the map, I think it's a continuation as Dr. Rod mentioned. And so, yeah, that was a really successful event. And it was sunny in Daly City. I was like, what's going on? The weather is warm and hot. That very same morning, afternoon, it was hot by Westmore. And by the track, we honored coach, track and cross country coach Ron DiMaggio for his 40 years of service over there. So the track is now renamed alongside of Jane Powell for him. But a lot of folks came out over the years to celebrate that. And then also I want to say thank you as well to everyone who signed the proclamation for Irene Lucido, 100-year-old birthday. And it was really amazing because she actually was one of the founders for Our Lady of Mercy and one of the first families in Westlake. And so, and that same evening got to join Mayor Glenn and his lovely wife at Mrs. Ilacondia with a coronation that evening. Last but not least, want to say happy Father's Day to everyone, all the dads, grandpas, father figures, single mothers that also take on the father figure role. Thank you, and I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And that is it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Did you go yet, Vice Mayor?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right, I just want to iterate a couple of things. I'm not going to go into too much detail because my colleagues actually said it already, but I'll start off with Kamayahan. You know, Kamayahan is a feast where, in Filipino traditions, similar to a Budo fight, Budol, Boodle, where people that you're really close with, including family and comrades, get together and you just eat. But you eat with your fingers. And the tradition is you're supposed to get a bucket and you dip your hand in the bucket, you wash your hands, and then you eat, and basically you eat shoulder to shoulder. I'm glad it didn't go exactly like that because I'm glad I had a chair to sit on. Now, I specifically told I'll say it. I specifically told an event coordinator there to make sure, because they were thinking about somebody to accommodate this person. And I said, nope, nope, no spoons, forks, or knives. So the person that I was thinking about showed up, and not only did he, see, I gave it away. Not only did he was ready, because in case there wasn't a bucket to dip your hands in, he brought his own sanitizer, hand sanitizer. And they also provided these gloves that you slip on. I see Councilmember Manalo's going like this, right? But then when they got to our table, people would look and say, how did you get blue gloves? Well, that person bought his own blue gloves. And, you know, I didn't eat with my fingers. I still got a fork because they gave wooden forks out and I used a fork. But this person really got into it and ate with his fingers, and he didn't even use a fork or any utensil. So I'd like to thank our city manager, Tom Piccolotti, for getting into it and enjoying the feast. It was great to break bread with you in that kind of environment. So I want to say thank you so much. So that's Kamayahan. I try to make this humorous. Foggy Con. I want to thank the staff. They basically thought of everything. When I inquired as to the size of the vendor area, as to the space you get, and when I was given a number, and I said, I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to make this work? But basically, the space was bigger than I thought. And it's these little things that mean a lot. As I'm looking around, I see other people, and someone from staff, Romeo, walked up to me and he says, do you need a tablecloth? Guys don't think about making stuff look pretty. I said, oh, okay. But it made a big difference. And behind me was another vendor who, it was Romeo's wife. So as I'm putting my stuff up, he comes, whispers in my ear, and he says, hey, be careful. You got some very expensive stuff there. And unbeknownst to me, my wife told me later, yeah, he told his wife to keep watch over us to make sure that we were okay. And that really meant a lot to me. And every so often, Denise would come by, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm sitting up here, because, for an old guy, when somebody comes up to me, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. I'm trying to negotiate, and I'm trying to get prices on my goods. And Denise goes, you okay? Denise, don't bother me. I mean, I didn't say that, but she kind of got the message. And, it's I don't know, it's very hard to explain. And I heard up here on council that somebody says, when it happens next year, we're going to attend. But you know what? Why do we have, and I'm thinking, why do we have to wait till next year? There are some shows that does it every quarter, which brings me to the Burlingame Pokemon card show, and it was on the same day. But people came to Westlake because of the price. As Dr. Rod alluded, I think it was $5 up to the day of the show, and those under 12 was free. I went over to Burlingame, being the avid fan that I am, the following day on Sunday, and it was $25 to get in. And the vendor tables are much more. So not only did Daly City do its homework, but they wanted to make this a great event.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
we need more because from the comments that I heard, the reasonableness in price, and I later found out when I went home, I'm doing my calculations, and I was actually selling stuff lower, and that's why everybody kept coming to me. Oh my goodness. But it was a learning experience, and I'm definitely looking forward. I think it was a big draw for Daly City, and I think it's going to be a good thing as we move into the future. And as Councilmember Manalo says, thank you for acknowledging and giving your staff, Denise, the power to at least listen to them and running and supporting them in their ideas, because not all ideas work, but you saw something, you know what? Let's run with it. So I commend you for that. I mean,
Bravo.
and thank you so much, Denise. Thank you. It's much to be appreciated. So, lastly, I went to El Ocandia with Councilmember Manalo. It was a great event. And generally, I don't stay that long, but Jocelyn warned me it's going to be a long one. It was a long one because I was up. I think I got home at 11:30, and I was up at 4:30 to go to pick up some Trader Joe's bags. So you got it, Dr. Rod. So it was good. So it's great. So thank you all. I just wanted to share that, and thank you, Daly City, and to all my colleagues for what you do for our city and staff. All right, that's all I have. The next item is staff reports. Item number 17, Mr. Picolotti.
Thank you, sir. I'll be really brief.
No, please.
Okay, I'll take my time. No, you'll be happy to know that we do have two Teslas, one in PD and one in Public Works. I don't know if that came across tonight, but there are two Teslas. I enjoyed the Kamayung event with the mayor, Councilmember Manalo, and Councilman Doss McBall. I was fortunate enough to win the grand prize.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Oh.
Wow.
You left that part out.
Who won? You won?
Oh, see?
Did you win?
Twice and Denise won.
Yeah.
Denise.
Well, Mr. Picolotti, being the gentleman that he is, he always contributes. So he entered the raffle because he saw me with all my raffle tickets. Where you get those? So he went and got them, but he left. And you know what he says? I said, Tom, what'd you do with all your tickets? And he gave it to an employee. I said, well, why? Because she's lucky. And she won the grand prize. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Picolotti.
No,
I won two prizes, yeah.
Yeah, he always is. I did end up telling her split the winnings, and then I'll donate mine back. So at least you sent some back too for a good cause. But it was interesting to be able to go eat with my hands like I always want to anyway. So that was pretty cool. But that's it for my report.
Oh, no, come on, Tom. I mean, I look forward to, oh, man, when you get into it. Oh, good. It's a certain feeling when you're there, everything's going to be okay. So thank you, Mr. Picolotti. All right. That's all for staff report, sir? Great. All right. The last item on the agenda is the adjourn in memory. And at the flag raising, it was unfortunate that we did not have the Consul General, Daly to be there with us, even though we saw him at the Kamayahan event a few days prior. So we were thinking, well, okay. Well, it's unfortunate that he had to fly home that day due to the passing of his mom. Now, normally during the adjournment in memory, the mayor generally signs the letter, but staff really felt that in this particular case, not only shall the mayor sign the letter, but the entire city council, so I hope you don't mind. So I would like to adjourn in memory of Julieta Gonyo Tali Sayon, who passed away. I don't have any further information at this time, but just wanted to make that an acknowledgement. Okay? And the letter will go around to my colleagues. The next, I'd like to turn it over to Councilmember Manalo, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The next adjourn in memory is for Rosalinda Vasallo. Rosalinda Vasallo is one of my childhood friend's mother. And I remember her dearly when after school we'd walk down Price Street from Jefferson High School all the way to their home. And there would always be Filipino food. Come and eat, the house that we all would hang out at. And so I'd like to honor her and read her life story this evening. In loving memory of Rosalinda Quintana Vasallo. Rosalinda Quintana Vasallo, a soft-spoken, loving, and deeply affectionate wife, mother, sister, grandmother, and friend, was born on April 24, 1948, in Malate, Manila, Philippines. She peacefully passed away on June 3, 2026, surrounded by her loved ones. She leaves behind a legacy of kindness, grace, and unconditional love. One of 16 children, Rosalinda spent her early years in the Philippines, where she completed her education and pursued a business degree in the University of the East. In 1969, at the age of 21, she moved to the United States and began a new chapter with her husband, Mariano Loyola Vasallo. Together, they raised 3 beautiful daughters, Stephanie, Shelby, and Lauren, and built a life centered on faith, family, and love. Rosalinda dedicated many years to a successful career in the financial industry, working for Yosemite Insurance Company, Crocker Bank, Wells Fargo, and Robertson Stevens Investment. Yet her greatest joy was always with her family. She was known for her delicious cooking and baking Filipino desserts, her love of dancing, and her warm, welcoming spirit. Her radiant smile and caring heart made everyone feel at home. She is especially cherished by her 7 grandchildren, Isaiah, Elijah, Miko, Yashan, Kali, Cereza, and Noah, who brought her endless happiness and were amongst her greatest blessings. Rosalinda was preceded in death by her grandson Miko, her sister Angelita, her brother Demetrio, her baby brother Alexander, and her eldest sister Linda, who passed away shortly after Rosalinda on June 16, 2026. She is survived by her husband, daughters, grandchildren, and siblings, Miraflor, Hermie, Leslie, Alex, Edwin, Aurora, Ophelia, Emilia, Yolanda, Roger, and Bella. Rosalinda will be remembered for her gentle spirit, selfless devotion to others, and the love she shared so freely throughout her life. She journeyed her life spreading unconditional love, and she believed love was the greatest force of all. Her warmth and compassion touch all who knew her, and her legacy will live on in the hearts of her family and friends forever. Thank you, Mayor. And Mayor, I have one more adjourn in memory. She has been such a staunch advocate for the Filipino food movement. Her name is Tita Pearl Permali. And if I may read a tribute to her. For Tita Pearl Permali Cabrera, a pioneering force, cultural steward, and deeply loved matriarch of the Filipino food movement. Tita Pearl dedicated her life to preserving, celebrating, and elevating Filipino food, culture, and community in the Bay Area and beyond. Through her tireless advocacy, mentorship, and love for bringing people together around a table, she helped shape generations of chefs, storytellers, and culture bearers while reminding us that our Filipino food is memory, identity, and home. She was the co-founder of the Filipino food movement, and she was the pathway into the United States for Mamacita, a community stalwart, one of the original Pistahan organizers, and a pioneer of the Filipino American Chamber of Commerce. She also made sure that the Filipino ube and coconut were there for those to learn about, and she truly advocated for. She was a force during COVID-19 in feeding first responders, organizing restaurateurs, and helping foodies build their businesses. Her legacy lives on in the countless lives she touched, businesses she ushered, the community she nurtured, and the pride she inspired in Filipino culture. Please save the date for the Bay Area Celebration of Life on June 11, 2026, where the community will gather in honor to celebrate her extraordinary life. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Thank you, Mayor. And this is in memory of Nam Van Lay, December 12th, 1952 to May 28th, 2026. It is with deep sadness that we announce the passing of Nam Van Lay, who passed away peacefully May 28th, 2026 at the age of 73. Nam was a devoted husband, loving father, respected veteran, dedicated community leader, and cherished friend. He survived by his beloved wife and his older son, Anthony, and younger son, Brian, and one grandchild. He was born on December 12, 1952. Nam lived a life defined by service, generosity, and compassion. He proudly served in the South Vietnamese Air Force, carrying with him a deep sense of duty and honor throughout his life. After he was forced, because of the Vietnam War, forced to flee Vietnam and leave his family and friends, he immigrated to the United States. Nam built a successful career with Bank of America, where he worked faithfully for 36 years. His dedication, professionalism, and integrity earned the respect of his colleagues and friends alike. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Nam was deeply committed to serving his Bayshore community. He devoted countless hours to helping others and sought every opportunity to give back. As a director of the Southeast Asian Community Center, he worked tirelessly to support and uplift members of the Southeast Asian community. He was also an above and valued member of his local, again, Bayshore community, where his leadership, kindness, and willingness to help made a lasting impact. Nam was known for his joyful spirit, warm smile, genuine kindness. No matter where he went, he brought people together through his generosity, humor, and unwavering willingness to lend a helping hand. He touched the lives of many and leaves behind a legacy of service, compassion, and community. While his family and friends will deeply miss his presence, they take comfort in the countless memories he created and the many lives he enriched. His legacy will continue through the family he loved, his Bayshore community he served, and the example he set for all who knew him. May he rest in peace and remain forever in our hearts. And to the Bayshore community, heartfelt condolences.
All right, thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. That being all of the adjourned memories, if we can all kindly please pause for a brief moment of silence, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Rest well, stay safe, and thank you. Have a good evening.